Joining us now is Oji Okwe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Oji.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
Brown
skin girl. Her skin's just like pearl. That's Beyonce. How are you?
Well.
Yes, you are. How are you? Our favorite Niger wife. Good morning.
Good
I love your brooch.
Thank you very
good
much.
Morning,
From
Rufy.
you.
What did I get? Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, Rufy on fire. How are you this morning?
Very well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very well. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending in Delta State, where Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, on Wednesday launched the Organization of African First Ladies for Development's Free to Shine campaign, aimed at preventing retroviral diseases in the country. The campaign is an advocacy initiative led by the African Union and global partners to address the growing complacency in response to the spread of HIV/AIDS in Africa. Well, during the event, the First Lady said that Nigeria has the highest burden of HIV/AIDS in sub-Saharan Africa due to its large population and faces significant challenges.
I will be launching the Free to Shine triple elimination campaign for HIV/AIDS, syphilis, and hepatitis here in Delta State. This initiative aims to promote healthier mothers, reduce new HIV infections among women of reproductive age, eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV, vertical transmission, and provide treatment for children born with HIV.
All right, Mimba, I must commend the First Lady. You know I'm always very excited when I see some of her programs. She's launched a lot of programs, I believe, also in the Northeast, especially this her health initiative with the renewed Hope Agenda initiative. Well, the First Lady was in Delta State on a two-day visit. On Tuesday, she presented 10,000 professional kits to midwives as part of the health program for her renewed Hope initiative. The governor of the state, Sheriff Obowori, praised her initiative as a laudable program and thanked her for choosing Delta State as a place to flag off the program for the Niger Delta region. In the meantime, students of the Delta State School of Nursing in Agbo welcome the First Lady with this song that has now gone viral. Let's take a look.
Now I'm a mama, so we now get another one. Remi Tinubu. Now I'm a mama, so we now get another one. Now I'm a mama, so we now get another one. Now I'm a mama, so we now get another one. Remi Tinubu, Mama Nigeria.
All right. Well, you know, this song has gone viral. So many interpretations of the song, whether or not the students were, trolling the person who was presenting the song, saying, "Na your mama and not my mama." I really don't know the song. I don't know. Have you heard of the song before,
yeah.
Doctor? Is that how they sing it?
No, I don't know whether there's a classical format.
Okay, I don't know the format of the song. But before I come to you, the First Lady also visited the Delta State Traditional Rulers Council in Asaba, where she highlighted the impact of HIV/AIDS, especially among young people. She encouraged traditional rulers to help spread awareness and advocate for health issues, including the elimination of female genital mutilation. The chairman of the Traditional Rulers Council, Oroje of Okwe Kingdom, hailed Remi Tinubu for her efforts and promised that all residents of Delta State will vote for her husband in 2027. Let's take a look.
Your Excellency, we are proud of you, that you are a virtuous woman who stood by your husband. We are assuring you that come 2027, we debtors will vote for Mr. President.
All right. Delta Monarch here has promised. I mean, I think that the initiative is great. Anybody would, applaud her move, especially given the fact that she's come out there to donate and talk about, female genital mutilation, HIV among young people, promising to give them hope. Of course, the Monarch will say that, we will vote for you and your husband next term. Go ahead.
Well, consistently, we have supported the Renewed Hope initiative efforts of the First Lady, and also commended her for the manner in which, on the basis of her experience as First Lady in Lagos, as a policymaker herself, having served in this Senate, the manner in which she remains committed to supporting her husband. And, she sets a very good example in that regard. Now, going to Delta State, she went there to launch this free to shine, mobilization campaign for HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis. I think that is a worthy initiative also, to the extent that Nigeria's HIV/AIDS program is heavily dependent on external funding from USAID, or what the Americans titled PEPFAR. Now, the US has suspended PEPFAR funding to many of these countries.
Yes.
So it means you have to, look for your own initiative at home. The Global Fund is also not something that Nigeria can further rely upon. Now, Nigeria has an HIV trust fund. We also have NACA. All these agencies will have to be funded. And I think that, this effort to draw more attention to the importance that the seroprevalence of HIV/AIDS is still very high in Nigeria, I think that's a very good move in that regard. And, she talked also, one thing she didn't mention is the need for mobilization. The need to further educate people. Because you still find many Nigerians who will tell you that something must kill man.
That's what she did with the traditional rulers.
They don't worry about syphilis. They don't worry about hepatitis. You tell them anything, they say we are Africans. Our DNA is very strong. So this kind of effort is also good in that regard. As for the Orojo of Okpeye Kingdom, saying that, we are so happy, we will vote for your husband in 2027. All the people in Delta State will vote for APC and Tinubu. With due respect, the Orojo of Okpeye is not in a position to say that. We are in a democratic process. We are not running a monarchical system whereby somebody can sit on his kingdom's throne and assure anybody that this is what we do in 2027. The people of Delta State should be the ones to make an informed choice to decide on their own how they want to vote. It's not by monarchical imprimatur, or any kind of divine declaration that this is how the people of Delta State should vote. I hope the people themselves understand how democracy works, and they certainly do. Now, the third point.
Yes, we do. I'll help you answer for my constituents and the people around my neighbors.
The third point has to do with the song.
Yes.
The man saying, "Na your mama be this, we don't have another woman." Then the people respond. It's in music. It's called antiphonal responsoria.
Yeah. Okay.
It's from music patterns in African music. What do we call it? Ethnomusicology. That's what we call it when we teach ethnomusicology. So somebody calls, the other responds. So call and response. So this person is saying, "This is our mother." This is saying, "It's your mother."
Your mama be this.
You can interpret it your own way.
Some people have told me that that's how they sing the song. I've heard that as well. That it's like it's the type of song it is.
Yeah, it's a call and
your mama.
thing.
It's like call and response.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. I'm from Delta now. I ask questions from some people.
With due respect, that's not how they sing the song.
Oh, do you know this song? That's why I asked. Do you know this song?
But to be fair and balanced, I'm not going to make any comment. But that's not how they sing the song.
So that's what I was asking. Do you know this
So
song?
what will have been the response? What will have been the response?
Mama.
No, it was a call and response. Now our mama be this so.
But how do you expect them to say now our mama? It's like now your mama
so
be this so.
the chorus will now be now our mama be this so. But they kept on saying now your mama be this so.
This is a democracy.
It's a
Democracy, yes.
People have the freedom of choice in terms of how they think. It's only that you will be disturbed that it was unanimous.
Yes.
The response was
It
unanimous.
was, and it was quite loud, wasn't it? Our favorite Niger wife.
Very quickly on the issue of the monarch.
Yes.
You know, this morning we tried to unpack a number of the bills that have passed a second reading in the National Assembly, and one of those, there's too many, it's over 80, it's very difficult to unpack. But one of the ones that stood out to me was the constitutionalization of the role of monarchs, because currently we know that traditional rulers and so forth, they operate in a cultural capacity,
yes,
but they don't have a role in the constitution. So when you have some of these traditional rulers now coming forward to say, oh, we will vote for you, it now becomes an issue of concern when we start giving these respected rulers constitutional power.
And why not? So why wouldn't you give them constitutional power?
Constitutional role in the First Republic.
Yes, absolutely.
When Sir Adesoji Aderemi was even governor of the Western region.
For that. Why not?
So, but there are some people who are now saying, bring back, that First Republic.
I mean, I think that it is. I mean, it is our tradition.
I'm sorry.
That's really
I'm sorry. Please, can I just quickly say this? Is it with the leadership recruitment process of our monarchs that you're going to give them constitutional
Well, I don't know about that. Okay, wait, hold on.
We have House of Chiefs.
I know. Okay, hold on. I know the Olu of Warri Kingdom. I can speak. He's impeccable. I can speak for him.
Can you speak for that across the other monarchs?
That's the first
you will be
one
mentioning monarchs that you speak for them.
But also these things are sometimes hereditary.
I think it's just fantastic when they remain.
Some places
It's important for them to remain apolitical.
Yes.
It's important for them to remain apolitical because it is a respected, sacred throne that should not be denigrated by politics.
Like I said, we in Delta, we practice democracy. Well, all right. As always, well, kudos to our First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Remi Tinubu. We'll take another story now. A motion to immortalize the late Humphrey Nwosu, the former chairman of the National Electoral Commission, who presided over the June 12, 1993 presidential election, was stalled in the Senate on Wednesday. The motion was sponsored by the senator representing Abia South, Ehinaya Abaribe. Abaribe highlighted Nwosu's role in the election, which led to the declaration of MKO Abiola as the presumed winner and the eventual adoption of June 12 as Democracy Day. However, Majority Leader Okpeyemi Bamidele objected to the motion, noting that copies of the motion had not been distributed to lawmakers, sparking a shouting match on the floor of the Senate. Let's take a look.
Allow our colleagues to table their views, and it's left for the Senate to decide on what will be done on such views. I'll put the question, and I'll walk in line with whatever you decide. Of course, it's a bit controversial. Some see him as someone who truncated June 12. Some see him as a hero of June 12. So it's up to you. We'll put the question. Those in favor that this motion should go through, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The nays have it.
Yes, the nays have your say. Even though, did you hear that the yeas sounded louder than the nays? But that was the conversation online. They say sometimes when the nays are lower than the yeas, they will take the nay just because it suits them. But these are just processes. I believe Einaya Abaribe is going to resubmit the motion because I guess he wasn't submitted accordingly. But I mean, when you hear the speaker saying that it is a controversial issue because some say that, Humphrey Nwosu was part of the people that truncated June 12th, or the fact that, he's a hero. I mean, opinions are divided in that conversation, and you can hear that on the floor. But you know that the senator representing Anambra Central, Victor Ume, criticized the Senate for delaying the motion to immortalize Humphrey Nwosu, calling it undemocratic, and argued that the Senate leadership should have permitted lawmakers to discuss the motion. A rowdy session there, Rufai. Go ahead. You had something to say.
So I said that's not true, and it's
not
so
true?
sad. The fact
that
this matter, like he claimed, like the
Jibrin,
the presiding officer there claimed, that is divided. It should not be divided because the facts are there. Mm-hmm. Humphrey Nwosu was a brave man that stuck his neck out for democracy in this country.
We saw that.
Despite the pressure of the military. He also organized an election adjudged to be one of the fairest and fairest in this country. In his lifetime, because of these military oligarchs, he wasn't respected and acknowledged. The little decency and dignity and decorum we should give him in his death is being taken away by the same man that was part of those that tried to make the process clear for the democracy these lawmakers now enjoy. Mm-hmm. It should be a no-brainer. And it will have been a befitting one. I think it was just buried over the weekend, right?
Yes.
It's been buried on Friday. So, but there was on television. It will have been a great one this week.
Perfect
time. But now
yes.
that we are doing this, playing politics with everything, Humphrey Nwosu did not do anything wrong. In fact, he stood tall. Mm-hmm. He could have kowtowed to the forces. He stood tall. And the elections he conducted, these lawmakers, I saw most of them there at the book launch that day in Abuja now. Babangida has printed out the results, the same results of the elections he conducted, and MK Abiola was the winner of that election. When are we going to celebrate our heroes? Must everything be politicized in this country? Mm. If we keep looking at everything on the bounds of division, it's not fair.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to play regional politics, but I'm going to say what's going to upset a lot of people. Is it because Humphrey was from the southeast? Is that the reason?
Well,
is that the reason? If he was from other regions, will he be treated this way?
Well, Rufai, I believe that, Abaribe did not submit the motion properly. Like I said, he has a chance to resubmit the motion. It was just the timing that everyone is upset about.
Okay, very good.
Dr. Abati, really quickly.
Yes, I think the Senate President, Deputy Senate President, Senator Jibrin Barau, presiding, made a point that this could be resubmitted. The argument was about order 41, 42, yeah. Or order whatever, standing orders of the Senate. But I just hope that a day will not come when the Nigerian National Assembly will start behaving like the Portuguese Parliament, or some of those parliaments that we are seeing where they throw chairs and where they engage in fisticuffs.
And that's the point I wanted you to raise.
And then we will be saying that ambulances should be sent to the National Assembly to rescue those who have not yet lost their teeth or have received a blow to their heads. The way they are carrying on, it appears it's becoming a rather riotous National Assembly. And that's why we keep appealing to them. Whether they are fighting over standing orders or whatever, they should just conduct themselves as the distinguished people as they are so-called.
All right.
Now, that is one. The second point is about Humphrey Nwosu. I think the point has been made and should be reiterated that Professor Humphrey Nwosu is a hero of democracy.
Right.
Now, what needs to be pointed out? There was a group then called Association for Better Nigeria. They went to court And a court sat at night, midnight. I think it was Justice Basi Kpeme's court that gave a midnight ruling and said the election should not hold. Now, when Professor Humphrey Nwosu went to meet President Babangida, he insisted that there was no reason why that election should not take place.
Yes.
So at that level itself, he was a hero because
Absolutely.
he stood up,
Yes.
he stood his ground.
Absolutely.
Now, after that, after the elections had been held, it was described both by local watchers and international observers as the freest and fairest election ever held in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
And many attributed this to the ballot system then. It was called Option A4, the open ballot system. In subsequent elections, people have been saying, let us return to that Option A4 because it gave us the freest and fairest election. Number 3, why we should also salute Professor Nwosu's courage is that he later, after they had ignored him and all that, he later wrote a book, laying the foundation, My Account of June 12, 1993 election. Those who want to know further details, since time will not permit to give a book review, should go and read that book. And you will see that in that book, he said that it was MK Abiola that won the election.
Absolutely.
And he was the umpire. Now it was so many, like years after he had done so, that President Babangida himself now acknowledged it.
Absolutely.
That is a man who should be included among the heroes of democracy.
Right.
As for Jibrin Barao, senator, saying that the issue is controversial. I don't know how much of Nigerian history that he knows, for him to arrive at that conclusion. It may be controversial on the floor of the Senate where there seems to be confusion between the A's and the I's and the nays. And that's why we're saying that there should be e-voting in that National Assembly, so that those who vote against history, those who vote against the Nigerian people, those who vote against values and ideals that this society should hold sacred, will be known. And we will ask questions from their generation to generation about how they voted. Everybody will just go there, like there are some whatever, remote control electronic device. No, we want e-voting that can be measured and that can be documented.
All right, very well said, Doctor. Very well said, you guys. In fact, having established that the late Humphrey Nwosu is a hero of democracy, and we hope to see a quick passage on the immortalization of the hero of democracy. Well, let's take another story now. Following the altercation between a former Minister of Education, Obi Ezekwesili, and Senator representing Ebonyi North, Onyekachinwa Boying, during a Senate committee hearing on a sexual harassment petition submitted by embattled Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. The senator, in a statement posted on X, apologized to Obi Ezekwesili and expressed regret over the incident, stating that Ezekwesili bore the insult meant for her. Her tweet reads, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, ma'am, I apologize for the insults. I know you took them for me, for us, as a mother and as a leader. Know that you are a true icon of integrity, courage, and visionary leadership. Your unwavering commitment to good governance, education, and democracy continues to inspire generations, a champion of accountability. Nigerians appreciate you. I celebrate your brilliance, resilience, and selfless service. You are a hero. Very thankful, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan there. You weren't here when we discussed the topic yesterday, the altercation between the senator representing Ebonyi North and Obi Ezekwesili here. We arrived at the notion that both of them should apologize to Nigerians because, it appeared to be a show of shame. And, we see Natasha here. Obviously, Obi Ezekwesili was there to represent Natasha during that hearing. But before I come to you, let me take this story and we'll tie both of them together. Well, after initially rejecting the recall petition against Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan due to missing contact details, the Independent National Electoral Commission has now confirmed receiving the necessary information and has formally notified the the senator. Well, INEC says the next phase involves verifying that over 50% of registered voters in Kogi Central have endorsed the petition and assured a transparent process with the outcome to be announced in the coming days. What a controversial statement. By only the day before, we saw that these things were not registered. They were registered within 24 hours, Rufai Oseni. Under 24 hours, they found those people, the contact. Really, it just shows, I mean, the distrust among Nigerians is, borders on things like this. You just don't come out, release a statement, say, we cannot find these people. Now, under 24 hours, you found them. Why did you release the statement in the first place? Why didn't you just go through the proper process before releasing a statement? Vimbai.
So many moving pieces to this,
many.
right? Let's begin with Natasha issuing, Senator Akpoti issuing that apology to the former minister, Obi Ezekwesili, which, gosh, when this incident first happened, if you remember, we conducted an interview on a different program, but here on Arise with Senator Remi Tinubu, and she had said that, oh, this is just a chair, it's just about a seat. And then I'd responded to her saying that it's not just a seat. When the Rosa Parks, sparked the movement that happened in the United States, it was, quote unquote, just about a chair. And now the point I was making, a lot of people said that, we're over-dramatizing the issue, it's not that serious and so forth. But now just to contextualize it, when somebody touches on an issue that you may not acknowledge and realize is a source of frustration and a sticking point and a source, just an issue waiting to boil over amongst many people, you don't realize the type of movement that you can set off in motion. Just because women have been quiet, just because women may not have the forum to express themselves, and now suddenly there's this space that has been created, taking away from the case itself. This is not about who is right and who is wrong. It's the fact that a topic, an issue has been brought to the public space that so many women feel passionate about, so many people feel invested in. And this is the movement that I'm talking about. But having said that, when we look at the senator, yes, Madame Obi, I do hope she apologizes. She's yet to apologize. When we look at the senator and linking to the previous story with what's going on in the Senate, they always talk about, some senators joined later, they don't know the rules and so forth. I think right now, in their wisdom, the National Assembly needs to schedule a very urgent retreat for all members where they can go for a level of reorientation because it's becoming chaotic.
Yes.
And we can't have critical national issues being determined by it doesn't make sense. Now, very quickly, now to the petition, INEC. Well, INEC, on their part, are saying that they are doing their best because this is a case of huge public interest. They want to keep the public informed at every stage of the process. No problem. However, one thing was brought to my attention. When you look at the law, it says that 50% of registered voters have to sign the petition. So for me, I became curious. I said, how many people even turned out to vote to begin with?
That's the question.
So 50% of registered voters comes up to about 250,000 voters. 290,000 voters. Voter turnout for the election that brought out Senator Akpoti as a senator was 106,000. So, already you ask yourself, how did you find more people than those who actually showed up to vote in the election? Now there's discrepancies and things are moving at such a rapid pace. Ordinarily, we know that these things take time.
Yes.
But suddenly everything is in fast forward. Maybe it's because of public interest. Who knows? But there are a number of discrepancies, especially for me. My question is, we know the number of registered voters, we know the voter turnout, but suddenly the people who are invested in this process outweigh the number of people who are invested in voting to begin
these
with.
Are the questions. Well, INEC must show transparency, and that's all we call for at this time. Well, let's head over to Rivers State now, where the sole administrator, Ibok Ete Ibas, has suspended all political office holders in the state with immediate effect. The affected officials include the secretary to the state government, chief of staff, commissioners, board members, special advisors, and assistants. They have been directed to hand over to the most senior civil servants in their respective offices. The decision has sparked legal challenges, with a suit filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja seeking to nullify Ibas's appointment. Civil society groups have also condemned the move. calling it unconstitutional. Dr. Bati, I want to come to you on this story because, I mean, I don't know if he has the powers to, nullify these appointments. But before I come to you, meanwhile, a group of young people in Rivers State have launched a Wike Must Go protest, as we'll see in this video showing protester carrying a casket. Let's take a look. Dr. Abati, over to you. I mean, we're seeing these protests here. I mean, what is going on in River State? Where, I mean, we speak to our correspondents day by day. We hope that there's not, a lot of chaos going on there.
Okay, you recall that when the president invoked Section 305 of the Constitution, he said he was deriving his powers to impose a state of emergency in River State therefrom. Where the point of departure is and disagreement is how he has gone about it. There is nowhere in that 1999 Constitution where it is stated that the president can appoint a sole administrator. That's the main point. If there is, if it is anywhere in that Constitution, I would like to be properly educated, because the principle is that you cannot import into the Constitution what is not there. That's also a basic fact. So on what authority is the sole administrator, Ibokete Ibas, functioning in that position? When his chief of, secretary to state government, right, or is he chief of staff, issued that statement, he said he was acting on the basis of powers conferred on him by the president of Nigeria. The Constitution of Nigeria does not indicate anywhere where the president of Nigeria can personally confer powers. And even if it's relying on Section 305, that Section 305 says the proclamation of a state of emergency must be gazetted. Where is that gazette? On the basis of which the on the basis of which the Senate acted. Where is that gazette? If it is available, let them publish it so that Nigerians will know that, okay, this actually followed due process. And then we saw Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas being sworn on oath. Now, with which document? No, is it the Nigerian Constitution? Because the Nigerian Constitution does not say that a sole administrator can swear on the Constitution of Nigeria, where processes for electing someone as the head of government, is a constitutional procedure. Finally, now he has, on the basis of all that questionable, interventions, decided to sack the political, appointees. Well, he's just following in the footsteps of the president. The president himself had suspended the executive. He has suspended the legislature, not the judiciary. He left the judiciary alone. So he's just giving full effect to what the president has done. In any case, the special assistants, the commissioners, the secretary to government, who would they be serving now? When all the people they were serving originally had been, turned adrift. But our main concern is that, the federal government has the prerogative to respond to public interventions and to, review what it has done, since it's a suspension.
And an addendum, the PDP governors, like we said, have now gone to court, to the Supreme Court as regards this case. So let's see how that pans out. Let's test the law.
Let's test the law.
Like
we'll continue to follow up on the emergency rule in River State. We'll take our final story now. Honorable Adigun Abbas, representing Ibadan Northeast and Southeast Federal Constituency in Oyo State, was captured in a video now making the rounds on social media, struggling to articulate a motion in the House of Representatives, while Abbas, who is a member of the People's Democratic Party, was prompted several times by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, to correct his sentences, but faced significant difficulty expressing his points. Let's take a look.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that the House should be given the award by recognition coming from the list coming from the Department of Health.
Just say I move for the rescission of my first motion.
Okay.
Of my amendment, yes.
I rise to move the motion as the decision move as amended. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I move to rescind the decision, the resolution of the first motion I move.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, sorry, sir. I rise and I move to the decision to recite
the resolution of the first amendment.
Moved by
Thank you.
motion.
Thank you. Honorable Leke, can you second?
All right. I wish we were able to play that.
Stop,
I thought it was quite funny. I mean, the question was, how are these people elected into these positions? That's the question. That was the question. I didn't ask the question. Well, all right. Dr. Abati, we need to go. We have to go.
Is protected under
Yes.
the Constitution.
All right.
He could have spoken Yoruba.
He could have spoken Yoruba. Allows us to speak Yoruba.
Igbo, English, Hausa.
Well, all right.
English is
All right.
difficult. Let them speak whatever language.